today sees us towing again. Hopefully this time we get it out and processed in under a year, and then later on we'll show you our first towing adventure. So this is Kacey and Luna and Tachikoma and this ginormous 6x12. Model X can tow up to 5,000 pounds if you have the 20-inch wheels. If you have the 22-inch wheels, it can only tow 3,500 pounds. I believe Model Y is also 3,500 pounds. We'll catch you on the flip side. When you want to attach your tow hook or your tow receiver, you'll remove this. There'll be two push pins here. You'll remove them, and then you'll pull this down and out. Then you'll take this. And the catch is you don't just shove it in there like some other videos say. You're gonna want to have your key. You want to pull this, turn your key, pull this, and turn it, and then it'll allow you to insert it after you've removed this cover. And then when you let it go, you'll be good to go. Turn it, remove your key, close the cover, and you're good to tow. This is why you want to use the pull-in stalls last, because not all trailers can be disconnected once loaded. Some, like these U-Haul van trailers, once they're connected, there's no way to set them on the ground and pick them back up again. I mean, I can get it off once probably, but it's fully loaded at 5,000 pounds. There's no way we're gonna get it loaded again. I did say the pull-in stalls last, but this is obviously the Woodbridge Supercharger, which has no pull-in stalls. So what we did was we're occupying 5B and 5A. These are the only two that are actually paired. So any other stall at Woodbridge, the one next to it is not actually paired with it. It's actually the one way down the way. So I'd actually be blocking several chargers if it weren't 5B and 5A. So we're gonna boost up here, get our charge, and then continue on our way, because with the dual axles, the full weight, the terrible aerodynamics, our fuel efficiency is in the toilet. Amusingly, as I went to get the fuel economy data for these particular towing trips, I found that some of our top 10 trips for distance were actually with the trailer attached. That is incredibly funny. And all the other trips on the list ended at or near or started at a charging source. We typically see consumption from the low 300s of watt-hours per mile to the 370s, from the speed limit to 10 miles an hour over the speed limits. This is all the trips we took where the car had a data connection, including towing, drag racing, and circuit track time. Shown here is the closest to a normal pre-pandemic month we had during the pandemic, where you can see that I'm not exaggerating our fuel economy. I am a competitive hypermiler, but I've really been slacking off in this area since our first plug-in car, except towards the bottom of a charge if we're cutting it close. You know, that range anxiety area there. Here you can see that with the largest single axle trailer that U-Haul offers, a 5x8 van unit, we saw fuel consumption in the 490s of watt-hours per mile to 650, with an average consumption of 558 watt-hours per mile, varying with the speed on this mostly highway trip. With the dual axle 6x12 van units, we saw the largest dip into the 620 watt-hours per mile and up to over a kilowatt hour per mile at the right speeds. This is like running around the track at over 100 miles per hour. Our local move saw similar numbers with the last empty and loaded trips running 670 watt-hours per mile and 672 watt-hours per mile. Returning the empty trailer and equipment to the U-Haul dealership saw us running 818 watt-hours per mile because we increased the speed, averaging 48 miles per hour and maxing out at 65 miles per hour as we were racing to return the equipment by the deadline so we didn't get charged for an extra day as the place closed. Another thing you need to worry about, I don't know if I mentioned this before, you need to make sure that you're at standard height, both for Tesla warranty, all that, as well as if the U-Haul is doing their job and checking, as is their regulation. Only standard height is high enough. Once I put it in standard height from the always low, it was still too low because even though the car came up a little bit, there was still a little bit of slack, I guess the rubber, I don't know. Once we moved forward the 1 foot for him to get it off of the arm of the other trailer, the car had actually summoned it forward, straight summon with the key. Once I sent it forward a little bit, the car had come up the other inch, and you could actually see it lift once the park brake came off, and it did that half a wheel rotation. And so at that point, the car had enough height to qualify to do the towing. So for me, the worst part about towing with the Tesla, aside from when you're on a long enough trip that you need supercharging, or if your charger at home is slow enough that you need supercharging, is the backing up. Backing with this thing is quite ridiculous because, as all of you Model X owners know, the vehicle itself is already quite long when dealing with cramped spaces, and then this trailer is an additional 3 feet longer than the vehicle itself, I believe. So trying to maneuver it in our little driveway was a nightmare last night. It looked like the scene from Austin Powers with the little airport cart in the it's just back forth, and then you gotta remember to steer opposite, counter steer, because if you don't counter steer, then your trailer is going to do the opposite of what you want it to do. I mean, she pulls like a champ. The only other thing I don't care for is when it's empty, it will buck. And when it bucks, it'll just yank on a hard point of the car. And so the car, it will react to that. It'll bounce a little bit. It's not out of control, it's just annoying. And when it's full, that is kind of the opposite. It's when you go over something kind of bumpy, it doesn't really affect the car. The trailer kind of follows behind, except that when you go to actually start off, you got to remember to start off really smooth, because with that P100D, even in tow mode, it's got a lot of power, and you'll hear bang as the stuff in the trailer is shifting, which could be a problem. With these doors, you get two choices. Well, you don't really get choices. They have two options that they can pick from, and you can hope that your staff is friendly enough to let you choose if they have an option. My facility did not have an option, so I only got the roll-up door. But in addition to the roll-up door, you get like a barn door style. Those are much easier because it's a lot harder to pin the doors closed with the power. A little key trick I use when I do my inspections is I just take a full 4K HD photos, videos, whatever I need to do to make sure that they don't pin me with any damage that was already on the vehicle when I got it. And so with that, you've still got the whole of the vehicle available to you, including the trunk, and the Falcon doors and the folding seats. With the Model Y, like this one over here, you can get it with towing, but it'll tow, I believe, 3,500 pounds. Again, I'll double check that and put it on the video as an overlay. Thank you. So you just missed it because somebody couldn't find the record button. The car did a phantom brake with the trailer. I don't know what it was thinking. Like, it wasn't. Again, it just let off the accelerator. So my phantom braking is nothing like what people describe as phantom braking. I haven't had a slamming on the brakes in quite a few software versions. But there's this big truck behind me, and it decided, yeah, we're not going to go 55 anymore. We're going to do 45. And he didn't beat the horn at me, but you could tell he was frustrated. So the only annoying part to me, other than you know, the trailer dynamics, is that you don't get the ability to, you don't get the ability to auto steer. Sorry, there's trucks coming in off of the freaking way station, and I was not ready for that. Okay, when you're done towing, you'll have your receiver here. You'll have already removed your hitch. You'll take your key. You'll remove this cover. Insert your key. Twist it. Pull out and turn. And out it'll come. You want to wrap this so your grease is good. And after that, you can put it in your tow bag. Then you'll take your cover. Well, actually, before you take your cover, you'll take your plug and pop it back in here. And then you'll take your cover line it up and replace it. Then you'll take your two tabs and you push them in here. Over here are videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and over here is a subscription bubble. I want to thank our patrons like Jason B at the $5 level. Every little bit helps support this channel and to do crazy stunts like this. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Have a great day.